talked to me 10 years ago, and you told me that the life that I'm living right now in this moment would be my future, I would have laughed in your face and 100% said that this person needs to be institutionalized with medication.
Whatever you're smoking, give me some of that.
Yeah, you call your dealer, you got your money's worth. Like, most definitely. Yeah. So I never imagined this.
And now you're doing offshore fishing tournaments for millions of dollars.
I am, yeah. So
I mean, you're fishing in tournaments with Michael Jordan.
I just fished against Michael Jordan.
The GOAT.
Absolutely.
The GOAT of basketball. The GOAT of basketball.
Yeah.
Not LeBron James, Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, and he's amazing. He's actually
really.
He just
hang out with him.
He's awarded to the top angler. He was awarded the top angler.
Nice.
So he has catch 23. He's got a new bayless, and
which is how big of a boat? Like 60? Yeah, it might be even 70.
I don't want to lie.
Heather Smith Outdoors, Naked and Afraid. You're neither naked nor afraid at the Lake of the Ozarks.
Never afraid.
Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. It's beautiful here.
You know what? It's great to hear that from somebody who fishes all over the world. So, first of all, let's just start with your story, because I'm going to admit complete ignorance. Don't watch much TV. My wife and I used to watch Naked and Afraid, but that was probably pre-you.
Yeah.
You have gained a lot of fame from being on Naked and Afraid. How in the hell does something like that come to be?
So I actually had a big following prior to going on Naked.
Because of your outdoor fishing?
Right, because I do tournament fishing, I did, and we're going to get into that too.
Yep.
And then just because of my outdoors activities, and then I bring my kids, I'm a single mom in the outdoors. You see a lot of women going out, and they go out with their partners and stuff like that, and I bring my littles along, I drag them along, and they go to survival camps with me, they go fishing with me, and I go all over. So and I live on Lake Sam Rayburn, which is, one of the top bass fishing lakes in the country, rated by BASS.
So, and that's in Texas?
That's in Texas.
Where exactly in Texas?
About an hour and a half north of Beaumont.
Okay.
And 20 minutes from the Louisiana border.
I was just going to say on the Louisiana border.
Yeah,
okay.
East Texas.
Got it.
Yeah, Piney Woods of East Texas.
Got it. You're originally from Louisiana?
South Louisiana.
Where
I'm a Cajun. I'm 100% a Cajun. So, and to be a Cajun.
That's a unique breed of human.
Are we humans?
Wow,
and breeding is a good word for that.
You said it.
So my mom said I was going to be born with webbed feet, but to be born in Acadiana, that makes me Cajun. So back in the day when the French would say Acadiana or Cajun, and that's how it came about, Cajun. So I was born in a town called Raceland in Lafourche Parish.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. And is that on the western side of the state? Or?
It's down in the boot, the very bottom.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's down
so closer to like New Orleans.
It's 45 minutes south of New Orleans.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So on the way to like Venice.
Kind of,
Ish.
but yeah. So it's down there. So Venice is all the way at the end of the world, is what they say. That's the nickname for it. Yeah. And then you've got Lafourche, which is down in the marsh. Like, so when you're looking at the L, it's down here, and it's just the marshy area.
Okay.
Right here.
Okay.
So Venice is more east.
Okay. And so Ashley told me that she just got into this in the last 8 years. Mm-hmm. How long have you been doing all the outdoor stuff, fishing? Has this been like a lifelong thing? Or are you also somebody that's, just pick it up when I'm an adult?
Yeah, that's pretty much how it happened too. Yeah. So no, my dad was a captain. My dad actually was a merchant mariner, master merchant mariner. So we went out and fished, but nothing like I do now. So well, my family passed, and we talked about that. I'd lost my dad in 06, but between 17 and 18, I lost 3 grandparents and a mom.
Wow.
And my life completely changed. I took over the family business. And I went from living in Houston, which is the 4th largest city in the country, to I moved to a town of 223. 223 makes a great bullet, And so 223 ammo, right?
Oh, did you see that fish that just came up?
I did.
Shit,
We've got them all around
cat.
us.
Wow. Sorry.
No, that's what we're here for.
That's right.
Right. Yeah. So what happened is I went from I was already in the outdoors. Right, I went from being able to call a handyman if something broke to having to look up on YouTube how to fix issues with my turnaround, or the zero turn.
As a single mom.
As a single mom,
mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and my mom wanted her ashes spread on Rayburn, so I picked up a fishing rod to go out there instead of visiting a gravesite, you know.
This is back in 17,
18.
Okay.
And actually it was more 19 because she died in November of 18. So
Okay.
it was really in 19, and I went out there to, you know, because you don't go to gravesite, right? You take breathing process. And what I didn't know is that naturally, that fishing is used to help cure depression or help with depression with veterans with PTSD, children with autism. So yeah, it's a natural way to process things and to heal. So I was naturally turning towards something that was fixing my soul. You know? So yeah, and
So
that's why I have the water
that's
therapy.
6 years ago.
Yeah.
Is that when you started fishing, or that's when you started Heathersmith Outdoors, or started getting into that?
Heathersmith Outdoors was started in 2020.
Okay.
So, but that's when it
that
became,
was not a long process then.
No, within 1 year I had 75,000 followers. Yeah, so it was very quick for me. And so Bob Seeley, two-time Hall of Fame bass fisherman.
Yeah,
hold
let's
on
do
real
it.
quick.
That's how it's supposed to be. This is how you know that this is not scripted, edited, none of the above. I'm just gonna keep it rolling.
Yeah.
It's the first time today we've had them both bringing them in at the same time.
Yeah, right? Oh, mine got off. Oh. I have a gangster fish. He jumped. He bailed.
Is that like a technical term, a gangster fish?
No, that's a Heathersmith. That's a Heatherism.
All right, I like
That's
it.
a Heatherism. I've got lots of Heatherisms.
You got your own lingua too?
I do.
Too.
Yeah.
It must be a Smith thing.
I
I
think-
had my whole dictionary in my own words.
Yeah, no, so that's what I'm known for on the
She says,
show.
like different caption, like she says different
One-liners.
one
The Heatherisms?
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm actually known for that on the show. And so they call them, and all the fans call them Heatherisms.
Heatherism?
Yeah, so I was really hot last week, and I said something. I was like, my mouth is drier than Gandhi's flip-flop, you know. And then like I had a really hard turn in one of my challenges in Africa, and you know I went in. The ground was 138 degrees, and I burned off my foot, or you know, bottom of my foot. And then by the time I left the challenge 21 days later, it was 46 degrees. The rain was coming sideways. And they're like, what do you think about the weather in Africa? I was like, Africa went Chris Brown on me. You know, like, so you'll never know what's going to fly out of my mouth. It's a surprise for all of us.
All right, well, let's keep it going for the interview then. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, so we just proved that you're human, and you don't catch every fish that gets on your hook.
That's why it's called fishing.
That's right,
Yeah,
not
yeah.
catching. That's
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
All right, so carry on.
Okay, so two-time Hall of Fame bass fisherman Bob Seeley, you know,
Okay.
he was up at Rayburn. He saw what I was doing, you know, he's like, all right, kid, if you're gonna bass fish, you're gonna learn it the right way, right? So him and some of the legends, you know, basically put me through what I call like a bass boot camp, right? You know, taught me the proper way. Teamed up with Charlie King for my first tournament. We did very well, fishing against some of the best sticks in the country. And I started posting it from there. You know, social media is amazing. And people recognize it. Florida Fisherman Magazine saw it. They wanted to do an article on me. I've eventually now moved into the outdoor editor role for that magazine, which was a progression, all organic.
All right.
And I just kept fishing. Went to Cuba, caught a marlin there in Cuba. And
Was that just for fun?
it was because growing up, you know, the family had always talked about the old man in the sea. And so it was like I wanted to go there. Because,
Ernest Hemingway?
yeah, I went to, actually I saw his typewriter and the pictures of him and Castro together. And
Oh, in Cuba, not in Key West.
no,
Okay.
in Cuba.
Okay, cool.
In
Yeah.
Cuba. And so I went there. Losing everyone like that, I realized all this stuff, and I think this was a huge catalyst for what I'm doing now. All the stuff we said we're going to do later, like eventually one day I want to do that, do it now. That's what I started doing this for.
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
And do it and bring the kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you did it because you had to, because it was necessity, because you're single,
Yeah.
but as it turns out, it's making memories.
Yeah. And making great memories.
I love it. Okay,
Yeah.
so you literally you started this 4 years ago, and then how does Naked and Afraid find you?
Okay, so I started pushing the envelope. So not only my bass fishing, you know, hog hunting with shotguns out of an airboat, right? And so 13.5 million views. Was shooting neutral from an airboat with shotguns, and you know, going out red fishing or going out and I went out with where the guys are based out of. We took tuna out of Gloucester. Went out and got a bluefin tuna. As a matter of fact, we left Gloucester, went up off the coast of Maine, got a huge tuna, bluefin tuna, 587 pounds. The hook that we caught the tuna with We took it out of the mouth and brought it to my tattoo artist. That exact hook, he blew it up on a photocopier and then made that the stencil, and that's the hook tattooed on my elbow.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, I know you're asking about Naked and Afraid.
Yeah. It's all right.
Yeah. So while I'm doing this, someone had reached out to me, and I'd been getting a lot of offers to do different shows. I was actually the analyst on.
So this all just kind of like exploded quickly.
Yeah. Once I was on the scene, everybody just started and everyone was reaching out to me. And so Pat Malone, who was the executive producer for the Elite Fishing League that was on Discovery, reached out to me and asked me to be an analyst on the show. So I did that for season 1. Then Merrill Sport, who co-founded the Pursuit channel, and he also has the Hunt channel, then he reached out to me and asked me if I wanted my own show. So then I had Heatherisms Outdoors on the Hunt channel. And then somebody else asked me if I wanted to do a new extreme survival show, and it was supposed to be the most extreme one yet. So I was like, okay. So I went up and I reached out to Travis Johnson, who has Northwest Survival School, and he's one of the best trackers in the world, and he trains the Special Forces guys and all this other great stuff in survival. So who do I want to learn from, right?
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I went up there and trained, and while I was doing it, one of my followers commented, "You should do Naked and Afraid."
Oh, wow.
And
What year is this?
that was in 21.
Okay.
Now we're in 21 at that point. And so
Is that selfish for that viewer? Like they just wanted to see you naked?
I don't know. We're not. It's a.
I know. I'm being facetious.
Yeah. If I had $1.
For everybody that says stupid shit like that?
Yeah.
Well, then put me on the list.
Yeah,
Put me
you're
on the
a
list.
realtor, right? You'd be in business forever. So, but because Naked and Afraid is actually, because I was in Naked and Afraid Castaways last year. That is the #2 watched show in the country according to Forbes magazine.
shit.
So I starred in 2 of the top 20 shows, reality shows according to Forbes magazine for 2023.
Wow.
So I called them all. Aliciri, who's a friend of mine.
So somebody commented and you're like, yeah, I guess I'll reach out.
I looked at it and I kind of cocked my head sideways and I'm like, I should. And I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, and so that was in 21.
Yeah.
And then how, like fast forward to where we are today, how many different episodes or shows have you been on?
3.
Okay.
I've been, as we were talking about just Naked and Afraid.
Just Naked and Afraid,
Yeah, 3 challenges. So I was on the first, I was on season 15, which is episode 6, that's 1.
Okay.
Then they cast me in Naked and Afraid Castaways, which is the first time they've ever done this, and they took us all in
An island.
Yeah, an island in the Pacific Ocean. We had to jump off a boat and swim to the island, and we couldn't even have one single item.
Oh wow, that's different.
Yeah.
Because usually you get one, right?
We didn't get anything.
Why?
Yeah.
Just they wanted to challenge you? There's more. Were there more resources on the island? Is that why?
Yeah, trash. I was the
really?
quintessential trash panda.
Huh.
Yeah.
But it probably helped you survive.
It absolutely helped me survive.
Wow.
Yeah. So we found different things. We found like an old gasoline can that had washed or like plastic thing that had washed on shore. So it had a little bit of fumes and a little bit of stuff in it. Wow. Bird's nest. Actually, like a toilet pan, a bed pan, is what we used to block the wind and then put stuff in that to light the fire.
Wow.
So yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
And then most recently, or the show that's currently airing is
Naked and Afraid Excel.
which is
40 days.
okay. Oof.
Yeah.
And that is, can you say where that's at? Where that
Columbia.
is?
Yeah,
Columbia.
it's airing right now. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Awesome. What we can't say is what happened.
Right.
Got
So
it.
there's only one episode left.
Oh well, there you go.
So on the second episode, you do see me and my partner jump on a 6-foot caiman. Right. So it's like crocodilian.
You needed. Did I?
I did. I did. But we just jumped on it and literally we had no line on it.
I saw
none of
those
that.
pictures. That had to turn into a hell of a meal, huh?
Oh my gosh, it was great for days. It was great for
that's
days.
unique because oftentimes, at least when I used to watch the show, I mean, they wouldn't eat for days.
Right. Now we were doing, and that happens in the show too.
And he's from Australia?
I had a partner from Australia and I had one from England.
Okay.
Yeah. So
That's pretty awesome. Do you have a favorite? Do you have a favorite partner?
I have a favorite tribe that so I can tell you that I have favorite partners that I've been assigned to. Like so far in every challenge that I've done, most of the time, even on your first one, you're with one partner. I always get 2 guys. And that's really I mean, some people get 3 girls, you know, some people just get 1 partner. I always get 2 guys. There's always 3 of them. And I can wholeheartedly tell you that Sam and Adam, who are my partners on Excel, are by far, and that's horrible to say, but it's true. I love them both. Those are my favorite guys. We had so much fun. Like, we just had the funny humor. Yeah.
All right, let's double up and we'll come back to it.
Right there. I'll take this.
Okay.
That didn't take long.
Yeah, Okay.
They look like they might literally be twin fish too. Oh, you guys, like, the ladies are gonna have to hold these fish up. Stay up there, Heather.
Okay, hold on.
I'm gonna let her hold hers up on the line.
You got those things?
Chilling with the Smiths.
Right. We just need Wesson.
I'll be honoring Wesson.
That's right. Oh yeah, because you're Deadeye. Look at this.
Okay, so your favorite partners?
Adam and Sam.
Yep.
Adam and Sam are my favorites. I was married to a Brit for a long time.
A Brit?
Yeah, British guy.
Okay.
The little stag. So maybe it's the dry humor, maybe it's the sense of humor, or Sam is just he's like got this childlike wonder about him. He's a super fan of the show.
Cool. That's fun.
Yeah. So he's telling me all the details of everything and what everybody's done. Yeah, we're getting stepped on.
What? I mean, the most obvious question that I'm sure you hear a lot is like, how weird is it?
Which part? I know
being
being
naked.
naked. Yeah, everybody.
Being
wants to know.
naked with someone from the opposite sex that you're not in a relationship with? I imagine it's a lot weirder in the beginning.
Right. So the very first time, it's not just being naked. They've got big cameras, right? And there's a guy with a microphone, and then there's another person that's the producer that's watching you, right? And
Who are clothed.
Yeah, they all have clothes on, and they look not comfortable, but as comfortable as you can be,
Sure.
considering we're, burning. You have animals that want to kill you.
Yeah.
So it's very awkward. But you're just a nervous wreck anyway. You also know you're about to be on national television in your birthday suit, and then I have a tendency. I have Heatherisms, and they just come out of my mouth and surprise me, just like everyone else. Yeah. So I'm. Yeah, there's so many things.
Go on.
That you think.
What did you say that was probably the most off color to a naked man?
Well, one guy was not doing. Well, actually, both of them. On insertion was so brutal. Oh, well, I got 2.
Okay.
The first one in Africa, both of the guys were having heat strokes immediately because of the temperature. And Dallas is getting ready to leave. Like, he doesn't feel well. I mean, it was brutal. I've never seen someone having seizures from heat.
Yeesh.
Right? And I looked at the camera and I said, "We're going down faster than Kanye West bid for presidential office." Yeah. The other one was Sam got a tick on his unit.
Ding-a-ling.
Yeah, and I said, "How did you end up with a tick on your Mike and Ike?" And they aired that. Yeah. That actually made it to TMZ. Yeah.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch. And 2 more than both with verbally and physically. Ouch.
Yeah. Oh, it was pretty bad. He was definitely screaming in pain.
Oh my God.
And it was a big tick. You got to be careful how you say
On a
it.
mic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, big tick. Okay. Yeah.
It
Play on words
it
there.
was
Yeah.
a big tick.
Depending on what letter you start that word with.
Right.
Okay, so here we are. Now you somehow ended up connected to Mike and Kelly
Right.
with Down Hat Co., which, by the way, a great hat company. We are, I don't know when this is going to air, but we are creating a Lake of the Ozarks line, so I'm excited for that.
Oh, good.
That's going to be fun. But you got connected to them. You ended up here at the Lake of the Ozarks. I bet, if I'd asked you 4 or 5 years ago, hey, you're going to be up at the Lake of the Ozarks catfishing and wakeboarding and tubing and going on $1 million boats, you'd have been like, what the hell are you even talking about?
Right. Yeah, it would have been a little different. I went to Clear Lake High School, so I'm used to the power boats, right? Like, so these big power boats.
Yeah, you're in Texas. Yep.
Yeah, so, but what I have imagined, if you talked to me 10 years ago, and you told me that the life that I'm living right now in this moment would be my future, I would have laughed in your face and 100% said that this person needs to be institutionalized with medication.
Whatever you're smoking, give me some of that.
Yeah, you call your dealer, you got your money's worth, most definitely. Yeah. So I never imagined this.
And now you're doing offshore fishing tournaments for millions of dollars.
I am, yeah. So
I mean, you're fishing in tournaments with Michael Jordan,
I just fished against Michael
the
Jordan.
goat,
Absolutely.
the goat of basketball, the goat of basketball.
Yeah.
Not LeBron James, Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan, and he's amazing. He's actually
Really?
he just
Have to hang out with him.
He's awarded to the top angler. He was awarded the top angler.
Nice.
So he has catch 23. He's got a new bayless, and
Which how big of a boat? Like 60? Yeah, it might be even 70.
I don't
yeah.
want to lie. Like I
You could just go Google it.
yeah, look it up. Look up Michael MJ. Look up MJ's boat. He paid I can tell you he paid 8.2 for it. I know.
Dropping the bucket for him.
Yeah, 8.2 million he paid and then he did well. He won the I think the Mid Atlantic,
Wow.
and then he just came out of one of the Bahamas that he won as well.
Damn.
So yeah,
And those tournaments pay.
very well. Well, it depends on the tournament. So Abaco, I think he may have won like $3 million there. The Big Rock that we just fished in that tournament, that was $7 million. But there's different ways to win, right? So there was the Fabulous Fisherman that rolls over, which is the first person that gets a marlin to the dock that weighs over 500, was 1.7 this year.
Wow.
And then you have
That's a
additional-
race.
Yeah, that's a race to get to the gate. No one got it. I fished it last year with the guy, really bugging. We talked about Bobby Earl from Wicked Tuna. Nobody actually got it because last year the conditions for the weather were just horrendous. So, but we were out there in washing machines giving it our all.
Oh my
you know.
God. Puking over the side of the boat, I imagine.
Yeah, I did it.
Atta girl.
So, yeah, no, I kept it down. And so that's my rule. When if you're gonna go offshore with me, I ask them ahead of time. You get sick? Okay, cool. I'll see you when I get back. You know what I mean? Like, so, and then you've got 3 million, 7 million, 11 million is the White Marlin Open, I think, this year. So, yeah.
What are we doing with our lives not fishing in these tournaments? I mean, shit.
Well, the entry fee is the problem.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
you
didn't ask that question.
Yeah, people look on there, and then people don't realize how much it costs to fuel these boats
Of
along,
course.
right?
Yeah.
So,
or just to own the damn boat and begin with.
right, you take a look at the Big Rock tournament on there. It says $1,000 entry fee. Okay, so like last year, when you do these teams, to cover your bases for everything, it's $27,500, and then if you do the bonus category, it's $47,500.
And of course, you only hear about the money they're winning. You don't hear about all the times they lose. It's kind of like a gambler at a casino. You only hear about the time they hit the jackpot.
That is the best way for me to describe it. Is you're basically betting, and they call it a gentleman's term for betting, right? Like the Calcutta, right? When you're doing fishing, so. But yeah, that's basically what's going on.
Is this your first time in the Ozarks?
It is. I love it here. It's beautiful.
You hear that?
I do.
And so you came
I
up,
love it here. I actually love the Lake of the Ozarks.
and now you have experienced both ends of the lake. So we're up in the 60-ish mile marker. There's another 30 miles.
Right.
And you're down in Osage, down by Margaritaville, doing all the fun things. You're doing it during the week. You do that on a weekend, it's insane.
I can imagine. It reminds me of Lake Travis.
Okay, yeah.
The
I can see that.
commercialism
Yep.
and how it's just commercialized, family fun,
Both.
and the double entendres with the names of the locations.
Yeah, the bars and restaurants and stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not, there's some of the places that they're named, I'm blushing a little bit, and I've been on Naked and Afraid, it makes me blush. So, but I get it, but it's amazing. It's a beautiful lake, and to have the ability to, what we've done is, in the few days that we've been here, we'll be doing 5 different boats, right? And completely different styles of boat. And it's so easy to step from one to the other on this lake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen, how many lakes have you been on that are like this lake, where there is as much home ownership on the water, bars on the water, swim up pools at the bars? Like, how many lakes have you experienced like that?
Lake Travis is the closest that I've seen to this. And so Rayburn, you're not allowed to have permanent docks.
Most not,
Yeah.
because they're core lakes and
Yeah.
whatnot. And that's the thing that people, like, you don't know this, I know this because I have this channel, we get a lot of hate. A lot of people hate on the Lake of the Ozarks because they just don't like all the commercialism. They don't like the big boats. Those size boats don't belong here, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff.
Well, then they should come to this end of the lake.
Exactly. Or, go to your own lake, but as I always...
Or stay home.
Or yeah, go to your damn lake. I mean,
Yeah.
my joke always is do you think Lake of the Ozarkers are trolling? And another local lake is Table Rock down near Branson. They're usually the biggest haters. They're probably watching some of this. But I don't think Lake of the Ozarks go to their pages and hate on them, but they come to hate on us. And I always tease. I'm like, you must have had a really bad hangover or had a broken heart at the Lake of the Ozarks? It could be the only reason why you hate it so much.
Well, let me tell you 2 things, okay? And this is going to go out to you guys. Hate rots the vessel from within, first of all. Second of all, this is a fact. No one is going to be hating on someone. You never hate on, if someone's doing better than you, they're not going to be hating on you. They're going to be productive, they're going to be happy, and they're living a happy, productive existence. If they're hating on you, it's because you're doing better than them.
Yeah.
You know? AKA jealousy, you know?
So you think you'll be back?
Here?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Coming back to the Ozarks.
Yeah, definitely.
We got to come back, and so we're with Jason Smith. You already know this, Smith's Fishing Adventures, best fishing guide here at the lake. He specializes in catfish, crappie. You can do walleye, but spoonbill. I was going to get to that. Yeah, spoonbill is probably the most unique. And there's a season for that, right, Jason? It's March 15th through April 30th. You got to come back and do some spoonbill fishing. I haven't actually experienced it, so I need to come along so I can have some fun with you guys. But yeah, so you mark that down.
Yeah, it's the most amazing looking fish.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
And they have like a dorsal fin, so it kind of looks a little freaky, almost as if like, holy shit, there's a shark in the water.
Yeah.
But it's not, and it's super harmless. They're just big and have big What'd you say? It looked like a what?
It looked like it looked like an alligator gar and a duck-billed platypus had a baby.
Yeah. So, Heather Smith Outdoors, what is next for you?
So, I have announced that I will not be going back to do my nephew and nephew anymore.
Bummer.
Yeah. It's time for me to move on, and so
Lots of travel.
Lots of travel. There's a lot of prep that people don't realize that go into that, and then recovery is not that simple. You know?
Yeah, because you went through some massive dehydration.
Yeah, they heat stroke, heat exhaustion, whatever. But yeah, the effects are still lingering. Even when and I'm one of those people that just, I've got the grit of an iron wall. Like there's just no stopping me. And so, it's gonna take me down. I was puking in the episode. I was literally having a heat stroke, hiking, throwing up, and continuing to hike. And guys are like, if she had a heat stroke, she wouldn't be hiking. You don't know me, So I'm a mom. Just kind of like when you have the flu or you're completely sick, but they have to have things done. They got to be at games. You still do it. That's the difference between doers and haters.
And moms are badasses.
Yeah. So we're dads, single dads too, and dads. The family unit's great, but when you're a single parent, there's a lot on your shoulders.
Yeah.
But so I've got with Bound, and we met with some individuals this week. And we are going to be launching a podcast.
Ooh,
yeah,
fun.
So that's
what's this podcast going to be about?
Survival in the trenches. So, and we're going to talk about not only survival shows, being in Hollywood, doing reality TV, combat veterans with PTSD. Having to come back. It's the aftermath, right? It's not only out there and how they're surviving in life right now, how we're having to deal with, the price of groceries that's gone up. How are you, as a household?
Inflation,
yeah. How are you dealing with any of these costs? And then we're going to broach on some very controversial,
fun
topics.
Go on, tell me more.
Yeah.
Give me an example.
Okay, so one example, women's rights. Right, we're going to get into women's rights and how we were so close to being almost equal in society, and I can tell you, like with everything, and then right when we reached that pivotal moment, they took a man in a dress and made him more important, his rights more important than a woman.
Yeah, good. So, I'm glad you're going to talk about that.
Yeah, so yet again, then the woman gets put aside for the white guy. You know what I mean? So, and I think that those kind of comments, those kind of things right there, which maybe it's good that this will be my last year tournament fishing, because sponsors aren't going to be happy about it. They don't want you to talk about it. It's the elephant in the room. Somebody's got to talk about it.
Yeah. Good. Talk about what you believe in,
Right.
I love it. So if somebody doesn't know who you are, which, you're living under a rock, I was one of them, where do they connect with you? What's the best way to connect?
Heather Smith Outdoors on Facebook, Heather Smith Outdoors on Instagram, Heather Smith Outdoors on TikTok, Heather Smith Outdoors on YouTube. And then also, you can look up Florida Fisherman Magazine. You'll see me pop up in there. And
Florida Fisher Magazine.
Florida Fisherman.
Fisherman.
Plural.
Okay.
Magazine. Yeah,
Florida
it's got a following like mine as well.
Awesome. So. And do we have a name for the new podcast? So if somebody wants to keep an eye out for it.
I think we do.
Or just follow you.
Just follow me and I'll make the updates on it, because I don't want to give anything too much. Because some people like to cyber squat too.
True.
Yeah.
Good point. Yeah, good point.
Yeah.
So this experience, which is nothing like bringing in a massive tuna or blue marlin or countless other offshore fish. What do you think?
I love this. It's so chill. We were talking because, and also even from fishing with lures, this is great. You're just throwing out, chunks of bait, and then we're sitting there. We were looking at each other. There was a moment to decompress. The clarity of the water of this lake and the beauty. I am the kind of person that likes the rural area. I like the more quiet life. And like the only thing I was afraid of when I went on my Naked and Afraid challenges was millennials, right? So I wasn't worried about, anything else. So this is I like the solitude. I like the quiet side.
So you like this side of the lake just like Ashley does too?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, we weren't talking about that. But yeah, this is our speed. This is how we like to roll. We like it.
I'm gonna take you back to the chaos.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go back to the chaos later today.
Not that we haven't appreciated it.
Sure.
And the kids
There's a place for all of it, right?
Yeah.
There's a time and a place. But this is what you guys both said when we came out here. It's like, wow, this is like, we get to chill.
Yeah. And that's what I like. I like the quietness.
Yeah.
I like it. It's where I find, that's why I have the H2O therapy line with Bound. That's why I have latitude adjustment. It's where you need a reset, to get away from the busyness of all the chaos of society.
No doubt.
And you can come out here and it's a good day.
I think you need to come up here and get yourself a second home, just like Ashley's talking about doing.
Do you know a good realtor? Shameless plug. Yeah.
So, last question. If someone wants to come to the Lake of the Ozarks and go on a fishing excursion, who should they call?
Let me think about that. If they want to come up here and they actually want to catch fish consistently, not really, you think you're relaxing, but they're just double hookups, triple hookups. So many fish and some awesome fish. I would recommend Jason Smith's Adventures.
That's Fishing Adventures, that's right.
Yeah.
He's the man, and he educates the hell out of you. If you haven't watched those episodes, scroll back on our YouTube channel and go check out the original episodes that started this whole thing. This guy right here is amazing. You're amazing. She's amazing. It's been great. This has been fun. I've had a great time.
Yeah, thanks for having us out. I
Absolutely.
appreciate it. Thank you so much.